Hi everyone, hoping that you all are doing well and hopefully you have some insights to share related to this interlinear analysis. And so while doing an interlinear analysis of scripture in certain portions of Genesis, so between the Hebrew and the English, a couple of oddities presented themselves. And so we are looking at the name Eve, and the title here, of course, is The Genesis of Life, and there's a reason for that. And you see also on the screen these transliterations or these variations of Eve with the HAYAH, the HAWAH, the HAVAH. And so you see what is preserved there is the AYA, AWA, AVA. And here we see in Genesis chapter 3:20, and Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. And so his wife was named Life. And this is at Strong's Concordance 23:32. And when you consider the depth of this word life and Adam naming Eve life, it brings up a number of questions that you see in a number of Abrahamic traditions. And so those descendants of Abraham, you see manifestations of two parts of a spectrum. So on one hand, you see quite a bit of gynophilia. So you almost see an obsession with females, with possessing females, with accumulating females, almost like property. And when you look at the history of family law, you see this dynamic of females, wives being counted as property, essentially. Then simultaneously on the flip side of that, you see these extreme manifestations of gynophobia that sometimes looks like misogyny, but you definitely see the gynophobia. So you see that sort of fear and disdain of females. And so you've got this simultaneous dynamic going on in these Abrahamic traditions with respect to this entity known as woman, known as Eve. And you hear quite a few narratives about Eve and blaming Eve for quite a number of things in many of the Abrahamic discussions. And so we're just going to quickly look at what this might be all about. It's unclear, but there are a few questions. Okay, so again, it's not clear exactly what's going on in terms of the Abrahamic narratives. But what you see here at 23:32, and this is in the Hebrew, that Adam chose to give Eve this name, essentially meaning life, and phonetically spelled HAWA. And then it's indicated that she was the first woman. Now, what's notably odd about this naming is that this HAWA, this HAYA, this HAWA is so very similar to the names that people also use to identify the creator. You've perhaps heard people say HAWA. You've perhaps heard people say HAYA or AHAYA. And when you look at the transliteration of Eve's name, when you look at the etymologies, you see this conflation between what is known as the name of Eve and what is known as the name of the Creator God. You also see some other interesting notations. When you look over to the right, you see that there are some additional entries with respect to Eve. So there are some variations. So you don't see Eve with the EVE, but you see these variations. And these variations are very interesting because you see Huda and Ahuda. You see what looks like a HAWA or a HAWA. And then up at the top, you see HAWA or sometimes pronounced HAWA. And here you see the name Eve is correlated with this word Ahuda, which indicates propound or to put forth something. And here you see additional notations about this conflation with the HAYA and HAWA or HAWA. Now, some individuals will indicate that these are completely distinct in terms of etymology. However, there's no proof for that assertion. The proof seems to be in the direction of these names are conflated in terms of etymology. And so you essentially have Adam naming Eve in a way that's almost synonymous with the Creator God. The question is, what is that all about? And here you also see this interesting notation about this name, Ahaya. You see that it is associated with what is known as the first recorded chief of the Alachua band of the Seminole tribe. This was in 1710 through 1783. It's unclear why he is the first recorded chief. It's also noted that he is wearing dress that is very similar to what would be considered Eastern European or Western Asian dress. Remember, knowledge is power. Take care. See you soon.